This is breaking news.
Right now, Governor Kathy Hochul is making an announcement on agriculture on Long Island.
Also making sure that we deal with the high cost of farming overall. Look at the cost of fuel for them, the unprecedented increase in diesel and running their farm equipment. So we're working on ways to ensure that they have tax credits. We increased the tax credits for them to be able to invest in their infrastructure and invest in, have capital investments. We're also helping them with their worker retention costs. We've doubled the tax credit for workers, as well as picking up the increase that will accrue if there is to be an increase in the overtime law or decrease in the overtime hours. So we're going to be working with them on that as well. So I wanted to just thank everybody for what they're doing, let them know that this is really such an important part of our state's economy. It's, when people from elsewhere think of New York, they don't always think of agriculture, but that's what we live and breathe in our state. From Montauk up to the North Country over to the Southern Tier, we are known for agriculture elsewhere, and I want to make sure that we lean into addressing the challenges. That is what we are focused on today, and I wanted to open up to any questions we might have as we talk about continuing our investments in everything we're doing at the state level. Yeah. Any on topics? Any on
I'm sorry. So I thought there would be an announcement about $38 million for land preservation.
$38 million in land awards for 40 farms. Yes, $38 million. We talked about that, but $38 million for 40 farms that are going to have be available. It's 11,000 acres of land will be protected now, and that is a very significant announcement to make sure that we are continuing to invest money. Farmers can't just be asked to save their land forever. There has to be incentives behind it, so we've announced $38 million.
And where is that?
40 farms throughout the state.
Are any of them on Long Island?
Yes. I can get that for you. Okay. You know.
We have two right close by. Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't have the names in my head. We'll get them for you.
Okay.
We're approaching, in New York State, over 100,000 acres that has been preserved through our Farmland Preservation Program. It's been a great program. New York has leapt to the front on this, and one of the top 5 states in the country in preserving land. So,
what's the source of funding for this latest effort?
this was put in the budget. It comes out of the EPF. We've been consistently investing in farmland preservation for a number of years now, catching up in a big way. And it's been a great tool to help young farmers get on the land, but also, keep, as we learned over the last couple of years of COVID-19, it's so important to have a food shed right here. We don't want to depend on another country, another region for our food. So let's make sure that in New York State we have a responsive, resilient food system right here. So this is an important part, and the governor supported that wholeheartedly in keeping, farmland here in New York State, keeping the food coming to where it needs to go. Good.
Thank you. I have 3 different topics, so I apologize. I can just shoot them out. Monkeypox vaccine, the rollout, sharks, covering it every day here on Long Island, Governor, and then the shootings in the city. So those are my 3 questions. Do I do one at a time, or do you want to just do them as a time?
Do one at a time, okay?
Perfect. So sharks, I know you have a new plan for sharks. We're covering it every day here on Long Island. Can we talk about it?
Right, our beaches are such an important part of our attraction. Why people love living here, why they want to visit here, and we need to keep our beaches safe. So we announced that we're going to have a coordinated effort for patrolling, whether it's land, sea, or air. We are going to be having more robust patrols on the shorelines, also more boat patrols out there in the waters. Our DEC and our parks are teaming up together, as well as drones and air surveillance. So we can notify people of the presence of sharks as soon as they're detected. Red flags go up on the beach. People are to clear the water for at least an hour, and that way we can protect people. So it's earlier notification, but it's a more coordinated effort, as well as adding more lifeguards to the beaches for surveillance. So hitting on all strides, working also with our federal partners on the surveillance as well, and tracking of schools of sharks to make sure we know exactly where they're going to be, so we can continue enjoying the beautiful beaches here in New York State.
Perfect. And monkeypox, the vaccine rollout, anything you can tell us more about
Right, and we've been in communication. I speak every single week with the White House about how many more doses we can receive, and we point out the fact that New York State should get a higher percentage of the doses. They are limited. They came from one source in Europe, so the supply has been frustrating for us. But I will be announcing, I think Wednesday or Thursday, a major increase in the doses coming to the state of New York. That was promised to us, and we hope to get that verified literally in a matter of days. So yeah, we do have an increase. We have more cases here in New York than elsewhere. That's not unexpected. We have vulnerable communities. Fire Island, for example, we're making sure we're focusing on getting the doses necessary to cover that area. Suffolk County has had a number of cases, 4 cases, Nassau has 3, and New York City has 490 cases. So, no. Pardon me? Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We already had an allocation of the doses to Long Island. As far, I thought I had that number. Suffolk County has 2,500 doses, Nassau 1,600, and but these are allocated by the federal government. So we get a larger inventory from them. Literally, I expect to hear a notification this week that it should be coming in the next week or so. So really, help is on the way, and we continue to press this because it's important. It's good to know there is a vaccine, but if there's not enough, it doesn't help people. So.
And last question, another really difficult weekend in the city as far as shootings goes.
Yes, and that's why just last week in Brooklyn, I convened a group of individuals who are known as the violence disruptors. These are the community organizations where there's literally people on the ground who are working with young people, working with young adults, and trying to get them to find a different path in life, but also to be warning systems, letting us know when there's violence expected to outbreak based on what they see happening in the community hands-on. So we tripled the amount of money going to those organizations, so that's an important part of it. I also received a very promising report from our first in the nation interstate gun violence task force, where we interdict guns across state lines. 9 states are working together, and I'll be meeting with them in another week or 2 to talk about their continued efforts. But we have seen the confiscation of guns in the state of New York is up at least 4 times of what it had been over this time last year and previous years. And it doesn't feel like it. I'm not trying to diminish the real sense of concern that people are having about gun violence, but the number of shootings is down about 12% in the city, about 8% statewide. So we're seeing trending in the right direction, but our goal is to end it. Our goal is to end it and make sure that we protect people with the laws we passed, the red flag laws, making sure that you can't have an AR-15 under the age of 21. And so we have tough laws in place, as well as the concealed carry legislation, which we're developing right now. It's due September 1st. So we've been having a lot of high-level meetings to talk about what that's going to look like, what the sensitive places are where you cannot carry guns, even legally. So we have a lot of work to do, but it's important. It's really important that we continue to focus on this day and night. This is my #1 priority, is keeping New Yorkers safe.
Just a quick follow-up with the monkeypox. You answered most of the questions we have, but a lot of people have been unhappy in saying that the rollout has been slow, and I just wanted to know what your comment was to the.
Right. We are the pass-through. The federal government gives the direct allocation to New York City. So that's a direct relationship with New York City on the rollout and how many they have. We have the rest of the state. There have not been as many cases, so we're working in coordination with the city to help them out, as well as continuing to call to get more doses. It'll be so much easier. Just like with the vaccines for COVID, the long lines and the frustration, the stress all evaporated once there was a steady supply that met the need. That's what we're on the cusp of getting, just hopefully in a matter of very short time. That's what I've been told by the White House.
Okay, thanks everyone.
All right.
We have time.
Okay, sure.
One quick photo.